Good evening. My name is Jude Spencer. I am in 7th grade on Team USA. Welcome to the 2023 Team USA PLP night. Our 8th graders have prepared personal speeches that reflect on their time at Albans City School. Although we know many things can change over the next few years, we believe that 8th graders have started the process of exploring their future and are excited to start their high school experience. The speeches are being recorded and will be posted on the Team USA website next week. Before we listen to our first speaker, we ask that all cell phones are turned off or set to silent. Students have worked hard to prepare for this evening. We ask that you please listen to and enjoy all speeches. I would like to welcome our first speaker, Camden Morel.
Take it off.
Yep.
Take it off.
My name is Albans City School has been one of, if not the biggest impact on my life so far. I wouldn't be the same without this school and the people in it. It feels weird walking around the halls and seeing the younger kids and thinking to myself, was I ever that small? And then I remembered myself as I was walking down the hallways, a first grader, looking at the big kids in the hallway thinking, they're so cool, I really want to be at something. It's crazy thinking that just in a few months, we're going to be in high school. It's crazy. Even though it'll be nice getting out of here, finally. I miss this place, the memories, the people, the fun, and the not so fun times. It's all part of the city school experience, I guess. Miss Chisholm, Miss Sato, and Miss Bashaw are the 3 teachers at the Voyager community. They're some of the nicest teachers I had. Miss Chisholm played gumball with us, which was a really fun Voyager trait. Not only that, but she could juggle. How many teachers do you know that can juggle? Not very many. Miss Sato is kind and respectful to all the teachers, to all of her students. Just make sure that you're also respectful in return. You don't want to get on their bad side. Out of my time at Voyagers, what I learned from them is that you can't learn without mistakes. I'm a pretty creative guy, so I like to think so. It's fun to do experiments in this fashion class. It was fun and interesting, such as the time we made a giant plastic parachute with an army guy stuck to it, and we let him go off the top of the playground, and he probably flew 100 feet up and got stuck in a tree and might still be there today. That was like 2 years ago. Continue to say, my time in this community has probably been some of the most fun I've had here at this school. The teachers are kind, and I understand what they're trying to teach us most of the time. At this community, we've helped out with Veterans Day ceremony. We've helped both put in and take out the American flags in a couple of areas around the community. It feels good helping people and participating in these things like this in the community. Here we've learned about independence and teamwork, how to deal with problems, and how to learn and prepare for life. So thank you to the teachers in this community that have helped us and helped prepare us for high school. BFA, Step Up Day was incredible. The food was great. My advisor, he seems like a pretty cool guy, from what I could tell. My classes sound fun. I both think, I'm ready for BFA, and that's going to be a struggle. Well, basically, from what I've heard, I know it's going to be a struggle. But from the school, I've learned that you can't learn without struggle. I suppose we'll see how these next 4 years will be like when we get there. Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your night. Our next speaker, I'd like to welcome Bella Jackson.
Hi, my name is Bella Jackson. For the past 9 years I've been here, I have been faced with challenges that I've had to overcome. My younger self wouldn't believe what's happened throughout most of my school years here and would be surprised at how fun things can be. Now that I've reached the end of my time at City School, I wonder what challenges lay ahead in high school and what my life would be like when I lived there. Throughout my elementary and middle school years, I've handled difficult assignments and learned how to manage my anxiety. Writing essays can feel daunting, especially when we have to write outlines and revise our essays, our drafts. Deadlines can sometimes feel overwhelming for me, and I worry about things working on time. But anxiety by far has been one of the hardest challenges to deal with while growing up. It affects the way I focus and act. This year has definitely heightened my anxiety because it being my final year before high school. Although the effects of anxiety can be hard, I've learned to persevere through it even when it was stressful. Some techniques I've found that help calm me down are taking deep breaths and focusing on something that I find peaceful or enjoyable. Most of the time, the peaceful things are anything other than school. Growing up, I always thought school was stress-free because I always got to be with my friends all the time. If I could give my younger self some advice about middle school, here it is. The assignments are longer, harder, and you can't always be with your friends, especially when you go into high school and you're in those classes. You have to work with people who aren't your friends, and you'll also have to know how to push yourself even when you think something is too difficult. In high school, I plan to focus on my grades, and I'm excited to join youth sports teams. I know I will be challenged in new ways in high school, but I'm ready. Thank you. Next up, I would like to introduce Tyler Sears.
Hi, my name's Taya, and the prompt I'm giving is a letter to your younger self, but instead I wrote a letter to my younger sister. I wrote a letter to her and said, because there's a lot of things I wish people would have told me before going into 7th and 8th grade. Dear Lyric, I'm writing this to you because you're probably nervous for 7th grade and so on. So here are a couple things I wish I was told before 7th grade. 1. Don't be nervous about new people because they're most likely nervous too. 2. Don't be afraid of public speaking. You're going to be up here doing a speech too one day, so take all the speaking opportunities you can. 3. Focus on your classes that year. If you don't, 8th grade, you'll have a lot of trouble. With all this advice I'm doling out, you'd probably think I followed all of it, right? Well, guess what? In 7th grade, I avoided public speaking. Then in 8th grade, we were required to speak in class. I was not ready because I didn't take the small chances in 7th grade. I also didn't focus on any of my grades and had a ton of consideration. When 8th grade came around, I didn't really feel confident doing my work. I started to fall into some old patterns. I did eventually catch up this year. It was because I started to do some different choices. I had to challenge myself to not give up even though it was really difficult. In 7th and 8th grade, we learned a lot of lessons about yourself socially. Last year, I fooled around more in class and did not always put effort into completing my work. It took me some time to realize that the friends I choose to work with can have a real impact on my success. I don't have to get involved in drama, and I have to make choices that are best for me. This year, I focused on my work more because I knew high school was coming up and life was starting to feel really real. If I had taken my own advice 2 years ago, I would feel more prepared to go into high school. But now that I've survived middle school, I know I can make it through high school successfully too. Thank you. Next up is Nick Boozum.
Good teachers. Well, some good and some not so good. I've learned a lot while I've been on Team USA, such as learning slope and scatter plots and math, and how to write 5-paragraph essay from the dress. We've read Frankenstein, which has been pretty fun. Social studies, I've learned about the history of wars, and science I've learned how to build climate derby cars and the best way to make those good. There are 5 transferable skills that all students worked on during their time at City School. The transferable skill that I think will help you the most is creative, practical problem solving. This means that I always have to be ready for anything and have to be prepared to solve problems that I might not know how to do. After high school, I wanted to go into the military. I really haven't thought about which branch of the military I would. I know I want to be on the ground or on a boat. I always have to be creative because when I'm in the military, I never know what situation I find myself in. The life lesson that I've learned over these 2 years is never to make assumptions about why someone acts a certain way. Even if you have a bad experience with somebody, there's something going on in their personal life, they're just having a great time. Though it isn't a life lesson, I really haven't also learned about how to take pilots apart, do demolition work, and how to use certain tools to build construction. I think these skills will be important throughout my life. At BFA, I'm looking forward to having new teachers and getting amazing grades, most of all just playing sports. To get ready for soccer at BFA, I'll be practicing more during the summer, so I realize I can do. I'm also looking forward to making new friends on the soccer team, hopefully having some friends make it on the same team with me. No matter where I am, I will never forget the time I had at City School. A lot of people, teachers, and friends have had a significant impact on my life. Next up, Brandon Payne.
Hi, my name is Brandon. I've been going to this school for about 8 years now, and I've met a lot of people, learned a lot of skills, but I've also forgotten a lot. But something that will always stick with me is a lesson I learned, and that lesson is anything can be fun with your friends. For example, when me and my friends are told to do something in class, no matter how boring it is, we always find a way to make it fun. For another example, what's one thing that most kids like? Video games. But at school, you can't just pull out your phone and start playing games. So on breaks, we would find games in our phone. And a lot of those games were poorly designed. But no matter how broken they may have been, when we all grouped up together and played, we had a blast. But now that I'm moving on to BFA, I know that I will have more responsibilities and more independence. There's a lot of different stuff in BFA, and I don't like change. But I know that with the help of my friends, that I'll be able to make it through BFA. Next up, I'd like to introduce Drea Gorman.
My name is Drea Gorman and I'm an 8th grader on Team USA. And I never really liked school. I thought it was a waste of time. And I could learn all of the things I've learned in school as I grew up. But now to think of it, school really helped me evolve as a person and realize who I want to be. The career I want to pursue as I grew older. I realized as I grew older that school is like my job, it's my responsibility. During October and November, I remember not wanting to go. I never had the motivation to go to school. I remember when I went to school, there were a few days I would never do work. I would just walk around the school and get in trouble. That's until I joined preschool as a teacher and I had a feeling that we were really going to make school different. The principal told me it would be easier for me to have an assigned time to go there and then take 20-minute breaks there. I took advantage of that and started spending my entire days there. Then I got really close with the teachers and they started to care if I was in class or if I wasn't. So I started going to social studies, then decided I missed my friends and started doing classes I wasn't supposed to, and started falling back into my old ways. Then they took me out of 2 classes, so I was only doing the ones that I needed more attention in. That didn't end up working for me, so they took me out of all of my classes and put me in the studies to do my work. I usually just read, I never wanted to be up there. I still got to do my stuff in preschool, but I missed the flow of things, so I worked really, really hard to get out of there. And eventually, I got one class back, and it slowly came to other ones. I eventually went back to all of my classes and lunch with my peers. There were probably 2 people who made this all possible for me, and that's Sarah and Rox. They really helped me through a lot, and I want to be the person I am today if it wasn't for them. I want to thank them for being such an amazing influence on me and helping me change into the person that I want to continue to be. I'm just realizing how much I'm going to miss you all next year when I'm in high school. Thank you for the laughs, the copper pens, the chocolate, the pancakes, the help, the fruit snacks. Thank you for all the muffins too, and the nut. And most of all, thank you for allowing me to join your classroom. Next up is Serena Warren.
Come on, Serena!
Hi, my name is Serena Longley. I've only been at City School since 4th grade. I've made a lot of friendships, some have lasted and some haven't. And I've had a lot of drama too. Overall, I've liked my time here because I've had a lot of fun. Everything that's happened in my time at City School will impact my future because I now know the type of people to surround myself with so I can have good, healthy relationships, friendships, and no drama. The kind of people I'm going to surround myself with is the kind of people who will help me get past my problems and guide me to be a better person. Throughout the time I've had here, the transferable skill that's evolved the most is my self-direction. Since helping Miss Levine in the library, I've been more self-directed. Although my self-direction has improved, I would like to improve it even more. I want to be more helpful around the house without having to be asked. It feels good to be self-reliant, and I will be more successful. Some things that I really look forward to at BFA is finding more friends, being able to get a job so I can get money on my own, and being in cosmetology class. Even though I don't want any more drama in my life, I know that there will be a lot of drama in BFA, but I'm going to avoid it as best as I can because I'm tired of having drama in my life. A lesson that's really stuck with me is that not all friendships last forever. I found this out in 6th grade when I ended up drifting from my old best friend. At first I was really upset because she was my best friend, but a few days later I was talking to my mom about it, and she told me that not everyone I become friends with will stay my friend for the rest of my life, and I feel ever since that day that my mom told me that, it has stuck with me and I have lived by that. Ultimately, I would like to thank Miss Vaughn and Miss Patel because both of them have helped me get through these past 2 years and through some of their ways. There are always the 2 teachers that I will go to whenever I want or need to talk about all the things going on in my life, whether it's good or bad, and they always give me good advice and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Next up, I would like to welcome Riley Hartwell. Hello, my name is Riley Hartwell and I'm an 8th grader at Albans City School. This is my letter to my older son. When I get older, I would like to walk in the especially when I talk to the group of people. Many times my anxiety is at its top when I'm accessing groups of people. Public speaking has always been very hard for me. I really want to get better at public speaking. I really want myself to feel more confident in myself. I want my older self to not be as shy, and I also want my older self to believe in myself. During my whole 8th grade year, I have been spending an hour a day in Miss Lawyer's classroom. This is the place I feel most comfortable playing with, talking to, and teaching kindergartners. I want to thank Miss Vaughn and Mr. Salad for knowing me. I also want to thank my dad for always being there, and my friends for being my friends. In BFA, I am looking forward to working in Ms. Conlon and Human Services. I am also looking forward to getting good grades and trying my absolute best in all my classes. I am excited to walk around in between classes and not sit basically all day. The last thing I am looking forward to is only having 4 more years of school when I enter BFA. When I graduate, I will have a daycare certificate and be able to work at a job that I know I will love for the rest of my life. Thank you for listening. Have a great night. Next up is Gay Mercantile.
Okay. Not many people know that I came from St. Louis, Missouri. I moved here in 3rd grade, but since I've moved here, I've had a better experience than I did in Missouri school. Since I started 7th grade, I've learned new things about several academic areas. Science has been particularly interesting to me. There's been many science topics, but particle science and physics have been my favorite. I've spent time growing and understanding my understanding of physics and
Wait, what?
Physics and technology. Soon, I also became interested in particle physics, quantum physics, parapsychology, chemistry, computer science, engineering, programming, and about 3 others. The main career I want to pursue is unknown to me at this time, but I can see myself as a hardware or software engineer. I enjoy programming and making my own devices at home. I've actually recently designed, programmed an AI to speak and answer questions, as well as read handwriting and printed text on paper and other materials. I've explored learning about different materials and how they interact. It's interesting to know how materials react with each other to the molecular level, which is something I've enjoyed learning about and have a deep understanding of. I have a passion around electronics and what materials they are made of and how they work. I'm going to BFA next year, which you should know. But next year I hope to be going to the engineering classes they have, hopefully to expand my understanding and knowledge on technology. In high school, I plan on expanding my understanding on my favorite topics as well. I'm considering some type of education after high school as well, such as college. Here at City School, I have been able to show my passion for learning new science and technology topics safely. I've been able to work with technology like the vinyl machine, 3D printer, and laser cutter. Recently, I have created the Team USA logo on the software and cut it on a vinyl machine. The Team USA logo is now on display in each room. This is one of the many examples I've experienced at City School. There are many other opportunities the school has offered me and are offering to students. I believe the students at the school have a good future and will be able to express their feelings, interests, and passions and feel safe doing so. I have started thinking about my career of being a hardware and software engineer more often, while also being a particle physicist. I believe that it might be my career as well, most likely a particle physicist. I know the next 4 years can be challenging, but I have many interests that will motivate me to be successful. I look forward to my future at BFA. Thank you all for listening. I would like to introduce Cheyenne Mason.
Hello, my name is Cheyenne Mason. I'm in 8th grade going into 9th grade. It feels really good to say that because I've always been so eager to grow up and start high school. But as the time came, and now I'm finally here, I'm kind of nervous. Some of the things I've learned by being at City School for the past 2 years, well, there's a lot. One of the things I've learned is that school and education are so important. I used to never want to go to school, and I found any excuse not to go. And looking back at it now, it was a stupid decision. I've decided I'm going to change and better myself for my education. So I've set a goal to make me improve my social skills and focus on school in order to accomplish some of my goals for the future. My 2 years at City School also made me acknowledge that not everyone will be loyal to you as a friend, and I'm okay with that now. I feel as if I've grown some self-awareness and a lot more maturity over the past 2 years. It mostly hit me in 8th grade when I realized a lot of personal things are happening around me. I took some time to self-reflect and think about what I could change to make me improve as a person. City School and the people in it have made me change quite a bit, but in a good way, because now I'm the best version of myself, and I'm happy with the way I am. With all of this self-direction, this will impact my future in a positive way. I thank a lot of people for helping me along the way, like my mother, and my grandmother, and my father, and all my teachers. I thank you all for never giving up on me. In conclusion, City School has made me the better version of myself. I'm so happy and grateful for everyone who has been by my side throughout my years of being here. I appreciate every one of them. And lastly, I'm very proud of myself for making it through these 8 years, even if things haven't been the best for me or my family. Thank you. That is Aiden Barr.
Good job, honey. Though I haven't been at City School for very long, there have been many impactful moments leading up to that. After being here, I wouldn't want any other place or any other time or any other people made many good friends throughout my time here, and there have been an uncountable amount of great times that I couldn't have anyone else can ever. My friends have also taught me valuable lessons that will no doubt help me for the rest of my life. That helped me to be more social, which is helping me right now. I still need improvement, no doubt, but I have definitely improved my confidence this year. More confident all around, not just speaking to me, but to anyone. Along with this, I feel that I've learned many details about myself and who I would like to become, thanks to these friends and the teachers I've gotten to spend my time with here at City School. There's also been activities and choices giving to those who attend this school, attending the school that I couldn't do back in Louisiana, where I lived up into my 5th grade year. At my old school, there wasn't really anything extra to do. There was only the 5 classes, lunches, and recess. There are no breaks, and other than a few sports, there's no extracurricular activities, such as creating team t-shirts or organizing in school events. The only thing I would say better there is the lunches, and they have Popeyes outside the school. But anyway, I'm thankful for the things I've been able to do here, and I hope I can do more things like this in high school. Overall, I've had a wonderful experience being here at Senior School, and I wouldn't trade the time I spent here for anywhere else. Next up is Tyler Scanlon.
Hello, my name is Tyler Scanlon, and I am in 8th grade. Next year I'm going to be a BFA. The things I'm going to be learn out of City School are how to do new math problems and how to make friends. I've been at City School since 2013. When I first went to preschool, next year of high school is going to be hard for me. At City School, my teachers helped me a lot. They helped me through my downs and ups. They helped me with my math menu, LA, socialized and science. I enjoy talking and playing with them. I hope my teachers at BFA are just as helpful and nice. I made many friends since the 3rd grade. Four of my closest friends have been Nick, Damien, and Wyatt and Keenan. They've been kind and helpful to me with my work and just being nice when others want. Last year made me move. But before that, he and Nick always have lunch with me. These days, Nick still does. That's very cool. I'm very happy about going to BFA this year, and I want to go to college after that. I'm not nervous about going to BFA, but if I want, I'll take a deep breath and calm myself down, focus and not worry about anything. The life lesson I learned at City School is to learn as much as I can now, to keep learning so I can be happy and smart and the best person I can be. I think that I will get good grades in high school and graduate to college. I want to graduate at good college and not get bad grades like I did last year. And I want to succeed in life.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Robbins. Some people call me Jessie, but that's not the point. The point is my teachers gave me a prompt, and that prompt is to write a letter to my younger self. This prompt is personal to me for many reasons. Mostly and most importantly, what I knew then compared to what I know now, things would be very different. When I first started going to school, I went from school to school before settling at Albans City School. It wasn't always fun moving around a lot, but I met a lot of new people and I had good interactions and some not good ones. It was challenging sometimes because I was in a classroom where levels of grades were different each time, and I wasn't always able to keep up. Sometimes I wasn't able to learn new things that I was supposed to be learning. This made me feel left out. I wasn't able to read what everybody else was reading, and it wasn't until later I discovered I had dyslexia. When I was struggling with work, it became very stressful, but I always loved going to school because I always got to see my favorite teacher, and I know he isn't here tonight. But he helped me through 7th grade, and I wanted him to know that. Mr. Marr has always been there for me to make me laugh and cheer me up. I wish he didn't move schools because I could talk to him if I needed anything, and if I was sad, he would notice right away. Mr. Cattell and Mr. Marr always had a lot of fun. The whole class and Mr. Marr would make up these bets. We would play Jeopardy, and whoever won got donuts and other cool things. Mr. Marr had a big impact on my life, and I never want to forget that. The life lesson I have learned from all the schools I have been at are that not everyone is going to want to be a friend. You just have to move on and find people that want to be around you and enjoy your company. Another one is that secrets are never private. No one will keep something to themselves. You need to be careful about what you say to other people. And the last and most important life lesson is never give up, because there's always something new to learn, and you need to trust in yourself. Learning is not always going to be easy, but you have to keep moving forward. Thank you for listening, and have a good night. Annabelle, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Annabelle Peake, and I've been at City School for 9 years now. The teachers here have guided me and helped me prepare for my time at BFA. Throughout my time at BFA, I plan to focus heavily on academics. To become an OBGYN, my preferred profession, I will need a bachelor's and master's degree as well as 4 years of radiology. OB stands for an obstetrician, a physician who cares for women and their babies during pregnancy and childbirth. GYN stands for gynecology or gynecologist, a physician who specializes in treating female reproductive conditions. I'm overwhelmed by the thought of this much education, both for the time and financial commitment it demands. I've always wanted to do something within the medical field, and this is the path. Some of the skills that I've developed while at City School are key to success in my future field. Communication is a significant skill that we work on while at school that is very important when working with others. This includes wording my statements to come across in a kind and respectful way, listening to others, and being considerate of what others need to communicate. While in class, I need to talk with my classmates and teachers in order to be an honorable student. Along with communication, respect is also a skill that is needed while performing this job. Even though the 30-minute long lectures from Mr. Rulo about how we need to be more respectful and complete our work were boring, they really did teach me a lot. Although I might have rolled my eyes or sighed, I'm grateful for the message that was sent through the lectures, whether I realized it in the moment or not. I still have skills I need to improve upon, and one of them is my positivity. In Mr. Cattell's class, he used to put a mark on the board every time I would say something negative, and then I had to say 2 positive things for every mark. In the moment, it was funny, and I'd give very fake compliments to help me get my marks off the board. It helped me shift my awareness on how my own negativity would affect others, even if I didn't intend it to. I'm much more positive compared to my 7th grade self, thanks to Mr. Cattell and his whiteboard marker. One of the other skills that is needed in order for me to succeed as an OBGYN is perseverance. When I'm faced with a problem, I tend to give up and say, this is so stupid, or I can't do this. I need to work on allowing myself to be in uncomfortable situations, even if I don't know the answer immediately, considering I will be faced with challenges every day as an OBGYN. Overall, leaving City School is going to be a bittersweet experience, and I'm super excited to see the opportunities that will be presented to me once I start my time at BFA. I would like to thank my parents for always pushing me to be the best and never letting me give up on myself.
Specifically my dad for helping me with math for hours on end, and my mom for always being there when I'm in need for advice. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our final speaker, Randy Sherman.
Hi, my name is Randy Sherman, and I'm a student here at St. Albans City School, as well as an active member in the Civil Rights Church. For those of you who don't know, our mission at CAP is supporting America's communities with emergency response, diversity, aviation and ground services, youth development and promotion of air, space, and cyber power through aerospace education. I currently rank at Cadet Airman, which I reached a few weeks ago. A couple weekends ago as well, I also participated in the Memorial Day Parade down at Essex, along with 5 fellow cadets. Through my time at CAP, I hope to attain life skills and traits that will make me the most desirable candidate for an ROTC scholarship, or possibly to meet the requirements to attend the Air Force Academy, so I may become a cyberspace operations officer in the Air Force. I plan to achieve these goals by working constantly to better my physical performance, as well as improving my character so I can prepare myself for my hopefully bright future in a great nation. My time here at City School has helped to prepare me to attain these goals by instilling a deep sense of respect and attention to detail within me. More importantly, though I may not have been here the entire time I was in K through 8, this school has had me for most of my time, and I've learned many academic skills that will help me along the way. I would like to thank my teachers, who were the ones who helped me to attain this knowledge, as well as being there for if and when I had any questions regarding my education. Thank you for listening. Students, thank you for your speeches. Your friends and family, thank you for your listening. Team USA will be going to the St. Albans Bay Park tomorrow. Students should dress for the weather. The SAC's 8th grade boat trip is planned tomorrow, Friday, June 9th. The bus will be leaving City School at 5 p.m. Please arrive by 4:45. Graduation will be held on Thursday, June 15th from 5 to 6 p.m. Students should arrive by 4:30. Have a nice night.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Carbone. I'm in 2nd grade on Team USA. Welcome to the 2023 Team USA PLP night. Our 8th graders have prepared personal speeches that reflect on their time at St. Albans City School. Although we know the next few years may change, we believe the 8th graders have started the process of exploring their future and are excited to start their high school careers. The speeches are being recorded and will be posted on the Team USA website. Before we listen to our first speaker, we ask that all cell phones are turned off or turned to silent. Students have worked hard to prepare for this evening. We ask that you please listen to and enjoy all speeches. I would like to welcome our first speaker, Lily Zekas.
Hi, my name is Lily May. If I imagine myself as 18 years old, a senior in high school, I'm hoping when I reflect on my years at City School, I remember all of the teachers and friends who shaped me as a person, forget every time I did or said something that was embarrassing. I can't wait to look back on the quote folder I have in my notes app and remember all of the inside jokes my friends and I had, like Logan Pale. And I'm sorry to my mother for every night we were laughing and screaming, or every time we were laughing and screaming at each other over the phone. I hope I don't forget the sleepovers I had with Emma and Skyla in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. They were the first friends I had at this school, and before them, I had never really hung out with anyone. I know we don't talk much now, but I'm so thankful to have had them in my life. I know that I'll remember all the teachers who have helped me get to where I am in my learning journey, and who have been there for me. Not just the teachers in Team USA, but every teacher I've ever had. Like Miss Sullivan, my third grade teacher from Georgia School, who showed us fractions and showed us my Harry Potter houses and did a cardboard carnival. Bashaw, who made us memorize poems and encouraged me to make a map of the continents out of cheese. And Ms. Vaughn and Mr. Cattell, who helped me write this speech and the one I'm giving at graduation. I'm thankful for everything they have done for me, and I hope I can use what they've taught me to be successful. My 14-year-old self wants to go to college with my best friend and eventually study the brain to be a writer. We want to move in together and have a bunch of kids. By the time I'm 18, I might have a different life plan altogether, but I hope I've become a person who is confident and can stand up for myself. I've always been a person who defends my friends. It hasn't always gone well for me. I'm working on being tactful, but I realize I have to grow into a person who can stand up for my own values in the same way. I can imagine myself as a senior in high school. I'm prepared for the next steps, and I'm confident and assertive, and I can look back on my time here with happiness. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Colin Trevor.
Hi, my name is Colin, and to be honest, none of the topics for this speech appeal to me. I don't want to talk about my feelings or the lessons I've learned. I find it pretty odd to talk about feelings. Doing this right now is pretty weird for me. I like to play video games. When I play a game, I don't have to be in the real world for a while. I like games like God of War and some Lego games. And in games like God of War, I've learned lessons when I play as Kratos. Now, as Kratos, he learns that revenge doesn't always do anything good for you. It does make you feel better. I learned that revenge only causes me to run away from my feelings. And if someone makes you mad, it doesn't mean you have to act out violently or anything like that. And in a similar game, Jedi Fallen Order, I've also learned to rise from a fall, even when odds are against me. It's a misconception that I don't like school. It's hard for me to sit still. The structure of the typical day is not my favorite. But I'm grateful for it, because if I didn't have school, I wouldn't have met all my friends, and I wouldn't have anyone with me to watch Across the Spider-Verse, which I believe is the movie of the year. I didn't really follow the prompts for this essay, as my teachers would tell you. I often do my own thing. I've kind of built a reputation for not following directions and being disrespectful. I don't want this reputation to follow me through high school. Like Kratos, he knows he can't escape his past, but he does accept it and changes his fate. So, like him, I like to change what I do about myself and get a new beginning with high school. Thank you. Up next, I'd like to introduce Charlotte Martel.
Very good speech.
My name is Charlotte, and I had the prompts to say. The prompt I took was to write a letter to my younger self. Dear little Charlotte, you're probably in first grade thinking, when will this be done? Well, you still have 8 more years to go till graduation. You better start counting. By the time you reach 8th grade, you will have your good days and bad days, plus with mean bullies and fake friends will be gone. Just be kind to yourself even when you get a 1 out of 5 on a test. Trust me, it will be okay, and try your best, that's all you can do. You're probably asking, well, is there stuff I overcame or learned? Because nothing's sticking to my little brain. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that you accomplished by 8th grade, like really friends and joining a group called cadets. You like doing cadets, the person who started with your 7th and 8th grade teacher, Mr. Patel. You will march in the Veterans Day Parade and the Memorial Day Parade. And you have overcame a lot of things like your speech impediment. You got help with all the words that you couldn't say, now you can. And you will have Miss Lonzo for 4th grade. You'll have Miss Newman. She is the best person you ever meet in school to do general work. She'll help you with any problems that you have. And P.S. She's not going to high school with you. It's just not happening. What? You're probably asking about the goals you have to make every spring and winter or fall. You don't always follow through with those, especially the ones that are the springtime. You really want to do those. Just one rule I want you to keep is to keep your space clean, like your room or your bed. And I forgot to tell you that there was a pandemic in 2020, so you won't get a locker, you'll get a milk crate. But don't store milk in there. It does not smell good after a while. So I wanted to give a big thank you to my past teachers and my current teachers, especially Ms. Miller and Mr. Cantel. Thank you for listening. Now I'd like to introduce you to Isaac Boynton.
Hi, I'm Isaac Boynton, and I'll be reading you my PLP speech like the rest of you here. I would like to say in advance thank you to Ms. Vaughn, Ms. P, and Mr. Cantel for helping me with my speech. One of my favorite memories from City School is one of the first days of school. Cy, Charlotte, Camden, and I were going to the little ball field class. At the time, we didn't really know each other, but we were excited to go. We played kickball and had an amazing time. We took a picture on the fence, and it was an awesome day, but like always, every good moment must end. I'm thankful to City School for introducing me to all the lovely people in my life. For example, Cy. Cy is one of my best friends, and we've made many memories together, and I hope we make more to come. Some of my favorite memories with Cy are the picnics we would have in the park, where we would gossip and talk about how school could be so hard but so fun at the same time. Speaking of gossip, and school being hard, middle school is a factory for drama. It's also a place where you can create wonderful memories, but also painful ones, where you can gain friends and lose them as well. Middle school is one of the hardest times of grade school. Everyone is trying to be someone and find themselves, but in the process they can hurt or help people. I've been trying to find myself with a lot of kids my age, and I've had support from teachers, friends, and family. Some like Zy, Charlotte, and Kylan. Charlotte has always been there for me, even when I wasn't there for her. It's one of the many reasons why I love Charlotte, and I'm thankful for her. Charlotte and Zy have been there for me, even when I was in drama. I'm going to be straight up here, there's so much drama in middle school, and I've had to spend too much energy on drama and I need to work. But in the end, school can be an awesome place to work and learn, but it can also be difficult. School is all about having good days and bad ones. Sometimes you'll feel like you never want to come back. My experience here has shaped how I see myself and others. School these days isn't as bad as it once was. It was here that I made my best friendships I've had. There will always be times when I'll struggle in school, but in the end, I know I'll be okay. All I have to do is believe in myself and hope one day, I'll stop criticizing myself and think about who I truly am. Okay. Next, I would like to introduce Kyla Hamilton.
Hello, my name is Kylan, and I wrote a letter to my younger son. Dear Kylan, school is almost over. Most people are excited to start a new chapter, but you aren't sure if you're ready. Ever since you came to City School, you've had this thing where you're finally liking school. Even if you're not the most popular or the prettiest, you're still in the time of your life when you're most happy. Your friends are some of the most supportive people. If you're having a bad day, they will make you laugh. If you're sad, they'll tell you to get it together and be strong. Some other strong supporters you have is Mom and Dad. They have a huge spot in your heart.
Mom is your biggest fan. She always has been. Dad is also another supporter. Though you have times when you are frustrated with each other, you still love each other a lot. You also have Alyssa. She's one of the people you have to talk to that you know will either make you laugh later on or tell you it will be okay. Your support system is huge. You have so many people you can talk to. Sports are one of your favorite things. One sport you play is softball. You love it. Lisa played it, and Jana comes with it. You play outfield. You may not run the fastest, but you sure do love the feeling when you get it or even contact with the ball. Another sport you do is cheerleading. It's not something you thought you'd do, but it really piqued your interest and you love it. You're at back, which is the person making sure the whole stunt doesn't fall over. You play soccer, but it's not your biggest focus. While sports are one of your biggest focuses, you also love school. Your grades have risen a lot since 5th and 6th grade. During COVID, you were struggling to keep up, and now you're doing outstanding. Going into high school, you're taking accelerated math. You never saw this coming until now. I'm very proud of you. Here at school, your favorite subject at the moment is language arts. You've gotten many 4s in this class for completing work on time, but also doing it thoroughly. School can be tough. You have been strong and straight. A few pieces of advice from older you is to be kind. Never let mean people get to you, and always be positive. It will make your days better. Seeing you now is quite a sight to see. I love the person you've become. Thank you for listening. And now I'd like to introduce Kate of the Valley. I'll just sit down.
Hello, my name is Kate McGovern. I've been at City School since kindergarten. I have plenty of memories at the school and learning life lessons. One thing I struggle with in my life is speaking too fast. I've learned not to slow my words. When I'm getting upset, it was just a stressful situation. When I was younger, I had a speech impediment, which is not a bad thing. It just meant I had to get help on that one subject. I kept thinking bad about myself because of it. I had to go in smaller groups. I had trouble speaking so people could understand me. Then I got into 3rd grade, and I was still having trouble speaking. When I was in lunch, I noticed a friend talking about a thing called Minecraft Club. I learned the basics of Minecraft after school, and I joined. The first day of Minecraft Club, my friends and I thought it would be funny to mess up something the teacher developed in the game. When she noticed what we were trying to do, she kicked me out of the class. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so hard for me to explain to her why I thought it was fun. But I was scared that I would get in trouble. I couldn't get past the first word. Once I pulled myself together, I eventually told the teacher that it was already at a printer. That was the first time I got in big trouble. The school called my parents. That's when I learned play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and to think before I act. Thank you for your time. Is Maddie
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Madison Goodall, and it is an honor to have the opportunity to speak to you today. Today, we take a step forward and move on from middle school and transition to high school. Reflecting on my 4 years at Albans City School, 4th grade year was a mess. I didn't do any work at all. I fooled around, didn't pay attention, or care about my work getting done. I was very immature and childish. 5th grade year is when COVID started. I didn't like the online setup we had. I also didn't receive the help I needed, which made it even harder for me. I ended up not going to any of my online classes and with lots of work. 6th grade was also a huge mess. I was mentally drained from the pandemic. Not being able to leave the house or see friends and family changed me. Going to school was a struggle for me, but then 7th grade year came by fast and I felt like everything changed. My mental health was a lot better, but my grades didn't get any better. I was more focused on my mental health than school. Later on, the 8th grade year came and it was probably my best year yet. I have the most supportive, hardworking teachers ever that pushed me to do my best. 8th grade year, I worked on schoolwork, but I also made sure my mental health was good too. This year has definitely been stressful, but I've come so far this year. During this journey, I've learned a lot of lessons,
For example, with or without people, with or not, meaning although you're upset or affected by losing someone, you have to carry on living normally. My biggest lesson yet was when anger rises, think of the consequences. In addition, I've learned to overcome being anxious in class. I overcame being afraid to speak up or raise my hand. I've overcome avoiding school and missing meetings. I've taught myself self-direction. I've learned self-control. I don't know what the next 4 years will be like, but I do know I've learned a lot these 4 years, including self-direction. It's been a pleasure speaking in front of you all today. Thank you for listening. I wish you all a very good evening. Next up is Parker Evelyn.
Hello, my name is Parker Evelyn. I moved to St. Albans City School in the 5th grade, and I met Mr. Cattell in the 6th, but not through school, it was through lacrosse. I had only been going to school for a year at the time, and everybody else was playing lacrosse, so I decided to join. I didn't think it was going to be fun, but soon my point of view changed. To this day, playing lacrosse is still one of the best decisions I've made. The first season of lacrosse was not such a great thing. A lot of lost games, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Next year comes around, and I was going into 7th grade, and I got into Team USA. When I went to the first day of middle school, I saw Mr. Cattell. I didn't know he was a teacher, but that was a comfort cushion to all the new and confusing things that come with middle school, because I knew who he was. As the school year went on, I got to learn about what kind of teacher and person he is. Mr. Cattell created a group called the Cadets, which is a group of Team USA students who practice leadership by participating in community events such as Veterans Day and Memorial Day parades, and various flag ceremonies and the honor flight of Mr. Spencer. It's now 8th grade and all the COVID restrictions are gone. Coming out of summer, I have changed a lot. I've gotten better at sports like football. We made it to the state championship, and right now in LAX, we are 2nd in the division, 7-1. I've also grown academically thanks to all of my teachers. Now I'm taking accelerated classes in math, but Mr. Cattell has pushed me to become a leader through cadets and other opportunities like the candidate forum. For those of you who don't know, Team USA organizes and hosts an event annually, and we invite all of the candidates of the local elections, and they are asked questions by middle schoolers of St. Albans City School. I was the MC for that night, so I had to get in front of everyone, like tonight, and I had to lead the entire event. It was not something I was looking forward to, but overall, it made me a better public speaker. I'm grateful for every opportunity I've been given by Mr. Cattell and my other teachers. As I mentioned earlier, I'm taking an accelerated math class. That is thanks to Mr. Coffey. He is the one who's urging me to push myself academically, and I appreciate that. As for my future in high school, I'm both anxious and ecstatic, but cannot wait. Thank you for your time. Next up is Peyton Tails.
My birthday was Peyton, but my friends would call me Ace. Although I didn't see eye to eye with most of my peers, I will say that I appreciated my teachers. They always pushed me to do my best. And I send my condolences to Mr. Comfort in particular. He was one of my teachers at Sheldon, and most certainly one of my favorite teachers there. He was extremely nice and taught us on a high school level. He prepared us for high school by challenging us to our educational limits. I deeply appreciated this because all the careers I wish to participate in all have something to do with science. Some of the careers I have thought about pursuing are an archaeologist, geologist, astronomer, and astrologist. I would like to get into these careers because I have always been fascinated with the stars and mysterious places. When I was growing up, I would always watch the Discovery Channel. It was fascinating to me to see these people go into pyramids and discover the history of these ancient ruins. When I was younger, I never saw myself going off into a career like that, mostly because I didn't believe I could. But I believed I could be a singer. That doesn't make much sense, does it? I evidently gave up my singing career because I didn't have the voice for it, and instead wanted to make videos about paranormal places. I wanted to find out the history of these places and share it with the world. Because if people believe that something is haunted, then it must have a fascinating story. In order to achieve one or all of these careers, I'm going to take every opportunity I can in high school and hopefully be able to take some college courses early. I'm hoping I can get a full ride scholarship, because getting fourth grade is challenging and expensive. I wish to get these through accelerated classes and be recommended by my teachers. Next, I would like to introduce Frank Pelkey.
My name is Frank Albans. I've been at the school for around 9 years. My teachers and I have noticed growth or change from 7th grade to 8th grade. In language arts class, my scores went up from 7th grade to 8th grade. They also improved in other classes, but mostly LA class. My writing is clearer and not every sentence starts with "they" and "then," like they did in 7th grade. There are also periods in my writing. Now my essays actually look like essays and not just giant blocks of text. My vocabulary has also improved last year. My goal for freshman year is to keep this up and maintain the same energy. I'm excited for my freshman year. It should be fun. I'll make some new friends, maybe lose some old ones, but that's fine because people grow apart and take their own path. I'd be lying if I said I'm not kind of scared, which is a good thing. It's a new environment and I will have new experiences. Some parts will be boring, but my plan is to try really hard to put all my effort into school, including the homework for all my classes. My mom says that high school will be as fun as you make it. I've also grown emotionally from last year. In 7th grade, I was kind of closed off in my world, but in 8th grade, I feel my family with lots of new friends, including some 7th graders. My hope is that I judge less and stay more open and talk to people. I hope to make some new friends, and I'm going to try to be kinder or nicer in my freshman year. I want to do this goal since freshman year will be a new start from everything, and I'll get another chance to make an impression on who I am as a person and how I portray myself to other people and my work ethic at school and other projects in and outside of school. I hope to make a good impression with the teachers and students. Thank you for your time. Next, I would like to, I guess, call it Sam Bruno.
Hello, my name is Sam Bruno. During my time at Albans City School, I made many memories, both bad and good. I made great advances along with several regretful mistakes. The end all of City School become somewhat of a home for me, and the fact I'm leaving it is unreal. However, one memory stands out above all others, that memory being of a very good friend. You see, I never understood the power of bad influence, and a bad influence was my friend. A student who didn't complete his work, talked back to teachers, and often ended up in quite no bueno situations. I was never the best kid, but I by all means was not this kid. I remember this one time we got into a shouting match with one of my favorite teachers for virtually nothing. That got me thinking, I would never want to be that kid. Yeah, I soon found myself doing the very same things. It was then I realized the real effect of influence, that a negative influence can take its toll. However, not bad, I lost my However, I also have many positive influences. People who genuinely cared about me and my well-being, and for that I'm thankful. Those people are the people who drove me to be the person I am today, and to change and evolve to be a better person. The successful people in life aren't the followers, but the leaders making things happen. The successful people in life are the ones putting in work every day to better themselves, striving to grow into stronger, more mature people. Successful people in life are driven by the opinions of others without a better of themselves. And that's something I wish more people would realize. Thank you. I'd like to call my good friend Jude Salvador.
Hello, my name is Jude Sato. City School has truly been an amazing experience. I've made friends, gained academic experience, and had a lot of fun in the process. During my time on Team USA, I've supported my community in ways I never thought I would. Like playing taps with my trumpet for Veterans Day, or playing in the marching band for multiple parades. I felt pretty special to be chosen for these opportunities. There are many things that if I told my past self, these things would happen, I honestly never would have believed it. I've had some opportunities, sure, but school is not always easy. I'm mostly talking about algebra here. I find it hard and frustrating, but that's when I rely on my friends who help me through these challenging times. A good friend, George Remillard, has always been there for me since 4th grade. I met George over a plate of breakfast cookies in 4th grade. He flicked a plastic spoon at her friend, Finn, and it was then and there that I knew he was a cool dude. I've met other friends that aren't in my community and are still friends to this day. But as I got to know George, I figured out that he was a funny dude. It's nice having someone to support you when you need it, because it makes you feel better as a person. George has been that support since we met. I first switched to City School in the 5th grade from town school, and I'm glad it happened. I did know a couple people at City School, but not many, so it was pretty weird. I did have a lot of fun because of the kind people and class we were fun, along with being able to participate in Walking Wednesday. Because of that switch, I'm able to be here and participate in events and give this speech. It was a decision I feel that was the right choice for me, because of the opportunities that I could be involved in. Something that really helped me get through the school year was the teacher support and the help that they gave me in order to do this stuff. Like I just said, algebra. Now, algebra is a pain in the butt and something I dislike, but how he helped me understand how to solve equations and find out what x equals, and that would really help. Or maybe learning about energy and science, or many worldwide events in social studies, and even just learning how to make my speech in ballet. With all that help, I wouldn't have been able to do much of the stuff I'm learning today. I'm glad to be able to have the teachers for what they've done to reach out to students like me. Coming to City School has really been a joy because the things I've done are what will make me do. I've met great teachers and friends that got me through the tough times, and I'm glad to have been able to come to City School. I played awesome sports, songs, and band, and enjoyed all the opportunities I've been able to participate in. Thank you. Up next, I'd like to introduce Annabelle Johnson.
Hello, my name is Annabelle Johnson. I'm here today to talk about my time at Albans City School. In the past 4 years, I've experienced the positive and the negative. Something that I always had trouble with was in the 4th grade was making sure that my work got turned in on time. The work was difficult for me, so I took a long time to complete it. I fooled around a lot and I did not focus. 5th grade was COVID year, which affected my learning because I felt like I didn't get the help that I needed. I didn't like the schedule we had either. It made it more difficult for me, especially being at home. I wasn't used to working at home and I never had homework before, so this was a huge change for me. Toward the end of 6th grade year, I had to do summer school. After summer school, I realized I needed to start doing my work and focusing on it. During the 7th grade, I still had thoughts in the back of my mind about really putting my best effort and focusing. I hadn't got that goal until 8th grade year. 8th grade year brought me the realization that snapped me back into reality. I will be in high school for 4 more years. And I have to put my best effort. I've made a good effort this year, and of course, there's been times where I pulled around and did not focus. I
learned a lot this year, and I started thinking about high school and the consequences of missing learning. During these 4 years of school, I've learned to be myself. I understand the feeling of feeling like feel what it's like to be one of the popular kids and have friends. I would try to change the way I look and the way I act to get friends. I learned to accept myself over time, with and without friends. I came to a realization that no one is the same. We all have our own styles and comfort levels. This realization taught me self-direction and self-acceptance. This will impact my life in a positive way and help me throughout high school. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is George Remlard, and in a couple days I will be out of the 8th grade for good. Although Team USA at St. Albans School has taught me a lot of things as in a whole, the best lesson I ever learned started on my first day of 7th grade, at lunch. Me and my best friend Jude were completely lost, and trying to find an empty table was like trying to find a clean bathroom. Impossible. So we swallowed our pride and sat down at a table with a couple of other kids we'd never seen before in our lives. And from the looks of them, they'd never seen our faces either. However, once we started talking with them, we realized we had nothing in common. For example, none of them have heard about the game BioShock nor the movie Caddyshack. In fact, one of them straight up despised the Far Cry series. At first I thought Jude and I should just move, but my best friend Jude, in all of his infinite wisdom, kept talking with them. Let that sink in a minute. Kept talking with them. For a kid who just came out of the 6th grade, where it seems like everyone is the same, this was a shock to me. You see, being a 6th grade student is like being in a beehive. Everyone acts the same, likes the same things, and to some extent is the same person, because if you're not, you get mocked. At first I thought Jude had completely lost his mind under all this pressure, but no, he was just being the smarter of the two of us, which is often the case. So I crossed my fingers and kept talking too. Looking back on it, many of those friends sitting at that table, I would consider my friends nowadays, but I've come to understand the deeper meaning of the story. Everyone's different. Some might be loud, or some may be very quiet, and that's okay. The point is, it's scary to put yourself out there and meet new people, especially if you're making assumptions about them and how they feel about you in your head. My first plan for 9th grade is to find a table that's not empty and sit down and hope for the best. So the lesson I learned from St. Albans City School is not everyone is the same, not even close, but it should not stop you from making friends. Thank you. All right, now I got a couple of important announcements for the days to follow for Team USA. First of all, students, thank you for your speeches, and friends and family, thank you for listening. Team USA will be going to St. Albans Bay Park tomorrow. Students should dress for the weather. The SAC's 8th grade boat trip is planned for tomorrow, Friday, June 9th. The bus will be leaving City School at 5 p.m. Please arrive by 4:45. Graduation will be held on Thursday, 15th, 5 to 6. Students may need to arrive by 4:30. Have a nice night, everyone.
Thank you.